Hi guys, I want to record you a quick video regarding weights and biases incremental tables. What weights and biases incremental tables are the tables that instead of just logging once and you're done during the experiment, you can log them over multiple steps, and then you can use a step slider in order to compare different iterations of that table. So let's go ahead and take a look on how to make them. So let's go ahead and create a weights and biases table that we will log over 10 different steps. And then at each step, we will go ahead and change the table up a little bit. So then in the UI, we can go through the table through different steps to see how it changes. So let's go ahead and import 1db and disable cursor. Cool. So run equals to 1db.init. We will write this to my default entity, which is demo. And we'll call this project incremental table test. Wonderful. So from here, let's make a for loop that runs 10 times for I in range of 10. Then we will create a table. So table equals to 1db.table. And then here we'll just make two simple columns. So we'll say columns equals to x and y. Cool. And then we will populate the table and populate the rows for those columns. And we'll also do it 10 times. So we'll create 10 rows for I in range of 10. Sorry, not I, j. And then we'll say table that add underscore data. And then here we can add I and j. Perfect. From here, let's do a simple run.log, put in the dictionary, and we'll call our table test table and actually log the table. Perfect. Finish the run.finish. And let's try running this. Python tables.py. That should look right. Wonderful. So now we have to upload those tables and actually log them to the UI. Perfect. Now let's go inside of the actual UI. From here in the UI, you can see that we are currently displaying runs.summary of our test table. What runs summary table is the last step that your table was logged at. So we have logged this for 10 steps, and we're only showing the 10th iteration of the table. In order to change that, we will go ahead and just change the query to runs. Perfect. Then press the settings icon, render as, run history table stepper. And then in here, if you log multiple tables, you'd be changing between different tables you logged. But since we only logged test table, we'll select test table and press apply. And ta-da! Now you are able to go through different steps that you have logged your table over. Since we logged over 10 steps, we go from step 0 to step 9. And you can even see that the only column in our table that's really changing is column X. And the reason why it's changing is because X was actually I, and I is on the outside loop. So it changes every time our step increments. Perfect. And then, yeah, from here, you can see us going to the next step, which is step 1, X is 1, step 2, X is 2, step 3, X is 3, and so on. So this lets you actually go ahead and compare your different steps of your table to other step theory table. So now that we have logged weights and biases table, as well as compared it across different steps, we also just added a new option of you being able to use this table. Again, as you can tell, as you remember, right, I have logged x0 for step 0 all the way, x1 for step 1, x2 for step 2, and so on. And if you want to visualize it with a step slider graph, you can do that now. You'll need to change your run history table stepper to run history plot stepper while still keeping it as the runs query inside of your query panel. Perfect. Now you will need to go ahead and choose the table you're interested in displaying. And then from here, you can customize your your dimensions, the x dimension and y dimension, as different columns or rows you're interested. You can also change color, you can change what you want the tooltip to be, as well as how it's going to get displayed. For example, I want it to be on auto, but I think auto will still display dots here because that makes the most sense. And then you press apply, and here you go. Now you're visualizing your table as a graph, and you can now also compare it across steps. And again, so in this case, it's not changing because remember, I just logged the same y values across a different x value. So at step 4, x is 4. At step 3, x is 3. At step 2, x is 2, and so on. But yeah, there you go. Let us know if you have any questions, and cheers.